ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
We have to minimize our mixing. We have to minimize the transmission of this disease.
A new lifeline for businesses hit hard by the latest round of coronavirus restrictions as California continues to battle a surge in cases. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. This afternoon, Governor Gavin Newsom and San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer separately announced a plan that will allow more businesses to operate outdoors. Now, they include hair salons, nail salons, as well as gyms and churches, which have already seen expand outside locally. Our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains why some business owners say this is not enough.
Susan McKesson's first day at her new Mission Hill salon also happened to be her last.
This last week was supposed to be my second Thursday, and she had to close down.
Governor Newsom last week ordered salons, gyms, and malls to cease indoor operations to help slow the spread of COVID-19. McKesson had to cancel 12 hours worth of appointments, losing as much as $700.
You know, it sucks the wind out.
But a new lifeline came for San Diego salons, barbershops, gyms, and churches on Monday. Mayor Kevin Faulconer signed an executive order allowing them to expand into private parking lots. And the state relaxed rules that prohibited haircuts from being performed outside. Still, not all are celebrating. First, gym owners are concerned about the heat and attendance.
It's like you risk hospitalizing people with heat exhaustion if you're outside, especially on asphalt.
And stylists still can't perform big money makers like coloring and other chemical hair services or shampooing and electrolysis outside. To make it worse, a number of owners invested into their own salons during the shutdown.
You take an industry out of work for 3 months, you ask them to abide by all of the new regulations. We do so. We spent money we didn't have to make that happen, and now the rug has been kind of pulled out from under us.
Meanwhile, many have exhausted stimulus funds that got them through the first shutdown. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
And the mayor's executive order could impact as many as 4,000 businesses in our city. Retailers and restaurants already have a process to expand outdoors.
And here are the latest numbers for San Diego County. 453 new cases were reported today, bringing the total to 24,135. No additional deaths were reported, so that number remains at 478. San Diego County is expanding its team of case investigators to help handle the recent surge in the number of local cases. They help with contact tracing and determine who may have been exposed to the virus. County leaders say each of us can play a role in tracing.
And if you get a test result that's positive, the best contact tracer is you. That is turning to the people that you know and that you are in a household with and that you work with to let them know as quickly as possible.
Dr. McDonald says it requires personal responsibility to take action when you know you're sick and you know your test result and you know who your contacts are. The county says there will be almost 100 more case investigators starting Friday, and it's hiring more than 200 others.
Families across San Diego County are preparing for the upcoming school year to begin online, but one school is managing to stay open by providing daycare. Among the changes, classroom sizes will be limited to 12 students. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco shows us what else will be different.
It's morning drop-off at Chase Avenue Elementary in El Cajon, but this isn't school, it's actually daycare.
Well, I'm emotional because I'm an essential worker, so both my husband and I work, and we need to work to support our family. So it's very important that my child have somewhere to go for consistency.
Danica Mitchell's son has been getting that consistency since March when the Cajon Valley Union School District started providing free childcare to essential workers. Last Monday, the district started its summer enrichment program. Friday, the governor announced counties on the state's COVID-19 watch list cannot open for in-person instruction. That includes San Diego County. The assistant superintendent says the district is following all guidance from state and county health orders, and the governor's latest order doesn't affect them.
Nothing had changed in terms of the model for childcare. So yes, there was information about schools and what would be possible for schools, but not regarding childcare.
Regardless of what happens in the fall, the district says it will still provide childcare.
We're only thinking of our families, and we know how challenging it is Families are working. Families are trying to figure this out.
The district says in the 4 months it provided care for children of essential workers, no one caught the coronavirus. Mitchell hopes her son starts first grade in the fall in the classroom, but she knows she may have to adapt.
I want my child to be safe, so if need be that he needs to have the distance learning, then that's going to be something that we're going to have to consider. But I would love my son to be able to go to school.
Feeling shared by countless parents across San Diego. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
And the district says the number in the summer enrichment program are all part of the child care program. Both programs are free. Students and staff do wear masks. They practice social distancing and follow strict hygiene rules.
With distance learning expected to be in place to start the school year, some parents are looking into other options. ABC 10 News anchor Ben Higgins launched an Ask the Expert series on Facebook Live by exploring the benefits and challenges of homeschooling.
What would cause a 20-year public school teacher to decide to pull her own kids out of that system? The answer may surprise you.
It wasn't anything against the public school system or private school system.
For the past 9 years, Ali Inocencio has homeschooled her children. She took part in our Ask the Expert series and said it was just the right decision for her family.
It was more that family bond that we wanted and that opportunity to be our child's teacher for academics and character and life.
Elisa Hilliard homeschools all 3 of her kids. She says it's sometimes just as hard as you'd imagine.
There is a little bit of sitting around the kitchen table and working out math problems and things like that.
But Hilliard says the ability to be flexible and creative makes it worth the effort.
We do a lot of hands-on projects and activities, so my kids are learning math while they're cooking and in the kitchen, and they can do that as a team.
And that flexibility doesn't only apply to where, but when.
School doesn't have to happen in the morning. It doesn't have to happen in the middle of the day. It could happen in the late afternoon or the evening. And so you can be that gives you that flexibility that a lot of families need.
So is homeschooling a better choice than distance learning?
They could start the school year and give it a chance and see if it's a good fit. They could decide to homeschool later. You don't have to make that decision right now, but I do definitely recommend they look into that option.
Inocencio encourages parents to check out multiple online resources to better understand all the different choices available to parents. I'm Ben Higgins, ABC 10 News.
Our Ask the Expert series continues tomorrow when we'll be joined by Dr. Joseph Lathan from the University of San Diego. He has 20 years of experience with online learning and will offer advice to help parents navigate this new challenge. If you have a question for Dr. Lathan, join us tomorrow morning at 9:15 on our ABC 10 News Facebook page or send us your questions to tips@10news.com. Governor Newsom is imploring Californians to take personal responsibility for doing their part to stop the spread of coronavirus. He says he's had to make tough decisions about putting back business restrictions and closing schools, but each person has the power to help get everything open quicker.
It's our decisions that will determine how quickly our children go back to school. It is our decisions that will determine what kind of activities we get to once again enjoy with our friends and family. And of course, it's our decisions, personal and sum total of all of our decisions, that will determine how quickly our business sector can reopen with some semblance of the way things used to be.
Newsom said he could consider some changes to the school guidelines he released last week. Specifically, he said he's open to arguments that schools could reopen with classes outside when conditions are safer.
President Trump posted a photo of himself today wearing a face mask and tweeting, "Many people say that it is patriotic to wear a face mask when you can't socially distance." As ABC's Inez de la Cuetara explains, the move comes hours after he announced that he will be resuming regular briefings as the country experiences a resurgence in cases.
As the number of COVID-19 infections continue to surge across the country, President Trump, who's barely mentioned the deadly virus in recent weeks, now seeming to acknowledge the dire situation.
We have had this big flare-up in Florida, Texas, a couple of other places. So I think what we're going to do is I'll get involved and we'll start doing briefings.
This coming just a day after the president defended his response to the pandemic in a combative interview with Fox News' Chris Wallace.
I'll be right eventually. I will be right eventually. You know, I said it's going to disappear. I'll say it again. But it's going to disappear. Does that discredit and I'll be right.
Today, Trump also meeting with top congressional Republicans to hammer out a new stimulus package meant to help the economy recover from the crisis.
We've said the number one issue is we have to fix the technical fix on enhanced unemployment. We're going to make sure that we don't pay people more money to stay home than go to work.
While the Washington Post reports the Trump administration is pushing to block new money for testing, tracing COVID cases, and the CDC, Trump revealing he is looking at a payroll tax cut and reducing federal funding to schools that don't provide in-class instruction.
I think it's very important. I think it's a very important thing. It's very good.
Meanwhile, as Florida reports over 10,000 new cases today and 92 deaths, protesters interrupting Governor Ron DeSantis during a press briefing. Mississippi's governor announcing on GMA he is extending the current mask mandate in his state.
Well, there's no doubt that young people in our state and across America are not taking the virus as seriously as we want them to.
And in New York, which was once the epicenter of the outbreak in the U.S., Governor Andrew Cuomo saying states that followed the president's advice are all worse off today.
I said if I reopen the economy recklessly, all it's going to do is increase the virus, which is exactly what happened to these other states. Their mistake was they listened to the president.
Congress has just days to reach an agreement on a new stimulus package. That $600 weekly help for the unemployed expires on July 25th. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
A convicted sex offender who deputies called dangerous has just left San Diego County after causing concern in the community. Tonight, ABC 10 News investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner asks why the state released him from a psychiatric hospital.
Carrie J Smith is not required to register as a sex offender, and he is not on parole or conditional release. A tweet late Monday, SD Sheriff can confirm Carrie J Smith, an admitted pedophile, has left San Diego County. It is always our goal to keep our communities safe. The convicted sex offender had been staying in a motel around the 78 corridor, upsetting leaders in North County.
I just don't feel good about this situation. This is a very sick individual. He does not need to be roaming the streets.
The Orange County District Attorney's Office says he claims to have killed 3 boys and molested 200. Under Sheriff Mike Barnett spoke to ABC 10 News Sunday night.
He'd like to be referred to while he was in the state mental hospital as Mr. RTK, which is rape, torture, kill. He was proud of that moniker that he bestowed upon himself.
Deputies say he served his time and is free to go where he wants. Before arriving in San Diego, the 59-year-old went to Orange, Corona, and Lake Elsinore.
If he gets out, he does it again!
Sparking outrage in Los Angeles. In an effort to avoid any violence, deputies did not share his exact location, but offered reassurance he was under 24/7 monitoring. The Orange County District Attorney's Office said Monday they're waiting for answers from the governor as to why the state released him from the hospital and why the Attorney General's office revoked his sex offender registration requirement in 2005. Monday, the Attorney General's office referred us to the Department of State Hospitals, which said it couldn't release any information because of patient privacy laws. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
A plumber accidentally sparked a fire while working in an apartment that was damaged, a 3-story building in La Jolla. This happened just after noon on Playa del Sur near Windansea Beach. Firefighters do say those flames spread from the first floor to the upper stories before crews were able to knock down those flames. No one was injured. And traffic is flowing once again on the 5 South after this boat tipped over in the fast lane. That sailboat was on a trailer at the time, but then tipped over around 2:30 this afternoon. This was near the 94 East exit. No injuries were reported there either. CHP had to shut down the southbound lanes of the 5 so tow trucks could get to the boat and the trailer and get it out of the way.
Private companies are now offering coronavirus tests with the promise of faster results. Coming up, the warning from San Diego's top public health officer. San Diego County has required people to wear face coverings since May. A local effort underway to get some stores to offer mask-free shopping hours. And a local music teacher asking for the public's support to make sure his students are prepared for the upcoming school year.
It's vital for them to be able to play a guitar at home.
The donations that have been pouring in since he put out his call for help on social media. ABC 10 News is back in 90 seconds.